Hey everyone, I hope you're well. I'm going to do a little bit of a different video today, and I have got the mic on, which is here, so hopefully you guys can hear me well. But I thought I would do a little reading roundup from 2024. I'm going to try and whiz through these fairly quickly because I don't want the video to be too long. I actually can't hold all of these books, so I'm going to give it a go. And in 2024 I read I think 12 books, so yeah, these are the books that I read, and I'm going to go through kind of all of them and give you a little bit of an overview of what I thought about them. And yeah, because I love reading, so just some ideas for you guys on what to read in 2025. So the first set of books that I actually read this year, this is not going to be in like chronological order, but it'll be kind of roughly, I guess, is the Harry Potter books. So I read the Philosopher's Stone in 2023, and then I read these 4 books in 2024. So I read the Chamber of Secrets, the Prison of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, and Order of the Phoenix, and my plan is to read the next 2 fairly soon. It did take me a little while to kind of get through them because especially these 2, the last 2 books, they're quite thick books. So yeah, it definitely took me a while to read them, but I really enjoyed them. I love the movies, and I really love the storyline, and I found that with the books there was just so much more in there, so I was learning a lot more stuff. So yeah, definitely recommend reading them if you've not read the books. Then I read this book called Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. So it looks like this. And this is a kind of enemies to lovers book. It's really good. I recommend it. I kind of read it quite quickly. I would say I would read it again, but I wouldn't rush to read it again because I feel like I kind of know the story quite well. But I did really like it. It kept me engaged and it was really easy reading. But yeah, that was a really good book. Then the first book I finished in 2024 was actually The Gingerbread Cafe, because I tried to read festive books over the festive season. I normally finish one kind of like the beginning of January, and that's always the first book that I finish in the new year. So this one's a really, really lovely book. I have not read a book by this author before, and I really enjoyed it. It's very warm and fuzzy and very festive. Great book to read at Christmas, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you guys are looking for something different to read at Christmas, it's not kind of like your typical, I guess it does have a bit of a romance aspect, but that's not the sole focus of the book. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Then I also read, the next one I read is The Colour Purple. So the reason I read this was because the film was coming out early last year, and I really wanted to see the film. It looked really good. And I'd never read the book before, so I said to myself, I want to read the book before I watch the film, and I loved it. It covers some very dark topics. It covers some topics that you may find upsetting, but I feel like it's a really important read. I finished it quite quickly actually because I wanted to know what happened, and yeah, I really fell in love with like the sisterly bond between Celie and Nettie, and that was kind of like the main thing of the story that I loved, was just their bond as sisters. So yeah, I'm not going to give too much away because obviously I want you guys to go and read it for yourself, but I would say with this one, maybe read up on different trigger warnings, because there's a few different topics that could be triggering for someone, but at the same time it's very important to read, and I would recommend reading it. The next one I read is The Love Hypothesis. Now, I have seen this all over TikTok, and I didn't jump on the back. Well, I actually bought this a while ago, but I only managed to get round to reading it this year. I fell in love with it. I do love a romance book, but I kind of like a romance book that has like other aspects to the story, and I feel like this was a great example because it spoke about kind of like career paths and university and all that kind of thing. And I just really loved it. I fell in love with it. I read it so quickly because I just wanted to know what happened in the end. And after that one, because I loved this one so much, I literally had to pick up Love Theoretically, which again was really, really good. I have another Ali Hazelwood book on my shelf, which I'm going to read at some point next year. And I just really like her writing style. I think it's really easy to read. I love that there's kind of always a great conclusion at the end. I feel like the story comes together nicely. And yeah, I just really loved how they are slightly intertwined, but I'm not going to say how they are. But yeah, these are great reads if you're looking for a little bit of a romance slash a STEM romance. So, sciencey stuff, which is quite nice. So yeah, recommend them. And I can see why there's a hype on them from TikTok. Then I read One Day, which again is a very popular book, and I read this because I saw the TV series, fell in love with the TV series, and I really wanted to read the book because I feel like when there's adaptations of a book, either in the film or TV series, it never fully tells the full story, and there was definitely some bits in here that weren't included in the TV series. I was also very, very lucky to meet David Nichols a few weeks ago at a Waterstones event, and I actually got a signed version of One Day, so that's very, very exciting. Then I read this other book called Paper Names by Susie Liu. And this is a very small book, so yeah, I quite like changing between kind of like larger books and small books so that I can, my attention span is a bit different. But I really love this. It tells the story of 3 different people in New York and kind of like how their lives intertwine. It has really good kind of like lessons. It talks about like immigration and stuff, and it touches on some topics that may be sensitive to others, but I really enjoyed it and I actually found it really fascinating. So yeah, really recommend that one. Then the last one that I've read, which I've recently finished actually, is A Winter in New York. And again, this is kind of like a romance book. I love romance kind of topics. I love New York. We're hoping to go back to New York in 2025. So this was actually a really great book. My boyfriend actually picked this up for me earlier this year, I think. And yeah, I just loved it. It was really, really cute. I loved how kind of like the woman was like really independent and then she kind of like fell in love and, various things happened. But yeah, really easy read. It's one of those reads that I really enjoy because I don't really have to focus too much. Like, I don't really have to focus on the words too much. And that's kind of what I like about it. Whereas some other books, I have to kind of concentrate a bit more, which again, I really like, but I like the balance between the two. So this was a really nice kind of like book to kind of like end the year off, even though the year's not finished yet. So yeah, I really loved that. And then I'm currently reading a book called All I Want for Christmas. And I haven't really read too much. I want to read some more kind of, hopefully I'm trying to finish it before New Year's, but I don't think that's going to happen because I've only read this much and there's quite a lot to go, and I'm a bit of a slow reader, so it may take me a little bit more time to finish it. But this is about a girl and a guy who go on to like an X Factor show type, but it's all based on country music, and yeah, I have no idea what happens yet, so I can't give you a full review, but I really enjoyed it so far. And yeah, that is my 2024 reading wrap. So I think I might try and do this yearly because I really enjoyed it, and because I feel like every year I read such not different things in terms of genres, because I tend to read the same type of genres but different books. So I'd love to share more with you about the books that I read, and I probably will start doing like individual like reviews and stuff, even though I feel like I'm not very good at reviewing books because I tend to say the same thing about each book. But yeah, I hope you liked it and I will see you soon.